Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Ismail Hussain. I'm from the class Water Quality Management SKB 4983. So today I'm going to present about the oil spill effects on marine life and wildlife. So first of all, what is an oil spill? An oil spill is the release of a liquid petroleum hydrocarbon into the environment, especially the marine ecosystem due to human activity, and is a form of pollution. The extensive shipping of crude oil over the world's oceans has increased concern about the effects of accidental spillage of petroleum in the marine environment. Increasingly, large amounts of petroleum are entering the marine environment, primarily from three routes: natural seepage, offshore drilling and production, and the transportation losses. However, major spills are associated with the increasing ocean transport of bulk liquids, particularly crude oil and refined petroleum products. Oil spill, a leakage of petroleum onto the surface of a large body of water. Oceanic oil spills became a major environmental problem in the 1960s, chiefly as a result of intensified petroleum exploration and production on continental shelves and the use of supertankers capable of transporting more than 500,000 metric tons of oil. Spectacular oil spills from wrecked or damaged supertankers are now rare because of stringent shipping and environmental regulations. Nevertheless, thousands of minor and several major oil spills related to well discharges and tanker operations are reported each year, with the total quantity of oil released annually into the world's oceans exceeding 1 million metric tons. The unintentional and negligent release of used gasoline solvents and crankers lubricants by industries and individuals greatly aggravates the overall environmental problem. Combined with the natural seepage from the ocean floor, these sources add oil to the world's waterways at the rate of 3.5 million to 6 million metric tons a year. Despite the importance and extent of mangrove ecosystems and their susceptibility and sensitivity to spilled oil, research on oil spills in mangroves ecosystem is still in its infancy, with many key questions remaining unanswered. Now I will talk about the oil spill happened in the Sundarbans on 2014. So the Sundarbans is a delta which is a part of Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna river basin on the Bay of Bengal. Is home to one of the world's most largest mangrove forest, of about 10,200 square kilometer, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. About 40% that is in India and the rest are in Bangladesh. There are 84 species of mangroves and mangrove associates. The total area of the Indian Sundarbans is about 9,630 square kilometer, including mangroves. There are some 4.5 million people in the living in the Sundarbans of Indian side, and about 7.5 million people are living in Bangladesh side. The delta was believed to have been formed uh, 2,500 or 5,000 years ago by a silt carried by the Ganga or Ganges and its tributaries. It's bounded by imaginary Dampier-Hodges line drawn in 1829 to 1830 to its north, the Bay of Bengal to its south, the Hooghly River to its west, and the Isamawati and Raimangal rivers to its east. The rivers here are saline thanks to sea water which enters through the hundreds of creeks and channels during high tide. In December 2014, an estimated 350,000 liters of fuel oil spilled into the Sundarbans Delta on the Bay of Bengal. An oil tanker that had collided with a cargo vessel on December 9th sank into the Shela River, spilling its oil into a protected sanctuary for the rare and endangered Irrawaddy dolphins, or Orcella vervirostis, and the Ganges River dolphins, which is Platanista gangetica. So the spill occurred when an oil tanker named Southern Star 7, carrying 350,000 liters of furnace oil, was in collision with a cargo vessel and sank in the river. By December 17, the oil had spread over a 350 km square area. The oil spread to a second river and a network of canals in Sundarbans, which blackened the shoreline. The spill threatens trees, plankton, and the vast populations of small fish and dolphins. The spill occurred at a protected mangrove area, home to rare Irrawaddy and Ganges dolphins. By 12 January 2015, 70,000 liters of oil had been cleaned by the local residents, the Bangladesh Navy, and the government of Bangladesh. So, how oil spill affects the water quality of Sundarban mangrove forests? Two types of effects are observed over oil spills. The first impact is immediate and acute. The second impact is long-term and chronic poisoning of mangrove plants and associated fauna by the toxic components of the retained oil. The consequent effect on the water quality parameters include reduction of visibility, turbidity, reduction of photosynthesis, reduction in dissolved oxygen, imbalance in respiration and production, higher demands on nutrients, imbalance in nutrient budget, increase in the organic carbon content, and increase in oil and grease content. About 56 to 60% of the spilled oil over water surface is lost by evaporation depending on the type of oils. The light molecular weight fraction of oil gets dissolved in the water and thus a diluted oil water suspension is formed, from which emulsification starts. The water content of emulsion is about 8 to 20%. It forms fourthly mass. In addition to this oil accepted fate of oil spilling, there are also effects on the regulation of the chemical composition of water such as pH, alkalinity, free carbon dioxide, dissolved oxygen, hardness, calcium ion, magnesium ion, sodium ion, potassium ion, and sulfate ion, as well as chloride ion. Moreover, oil destroys the insulating ability of fur-bearing mammals such as sea otters and the water repellency of birds' feathers, thus exposing these creatures to the harsh elements. Without the ability to repel water and insulate from the cold water, birds and mammals will die from hypothermia. Juvenile sea turtles can also become trapped in oil and mistake it for food. Dolphins and whales can inhale oil, which can affect lungs, immune function, and reproduction. Many birds and animals also ingest oil when they try to clean themselves, which can poison them. Fish, shellfish, and corals may not be exposed immediately, but can come into contact with oil if it's mixed into the water column. Shellfish can be exposed in the intertidal zone. When exposed to oil, adult fish may experience reduced growth, enlarged livers, changes in heart and respiration rates, fin erosion, and reproduction impairment. Fish eggs and larvae can be especially sensitive to lethal and sublethal impacts. Even when lethal impacts are not observed, oil can make fish and shellfish unsafe for humans to eat. So the casualties and the losses of these accidents were huge. 7 crew members of the sunken ship managed to swim ashore, but the captain of the ship, named Mokhlesu Rahman, died and his body was recovered a few kilometers away from the spot where the ship sank. Experts estimated that about 12 million USD oil was lost as a result of the sinking of the oil tanker. The residents of the surrounding area are at a health risk. The government of Bangladesh told the local residents to collect the oil and sell it to the Bangladesh Petroleum Corporation, and the local oil collectors faced health risks and various skin diseases, including hair fallout if furnace oil mixed with water contacts a person's face or hair. On 13 December 2014, a dead Irrawaddy dolphin was seen floating on the Haryantana-Tembulbonia channel of Shela River. On 18 December 2014, two dead otters were recovered from the Shela River by Forest Department workers. An autopsy of the two otters confirmed that they had died from ingesting oil. The otter is considered to be one of the endangered species and has been included in the International Union for Conservation of Nature endangered list. The oil spill was a disaster waiting to happen. Despite protests and warnings, the government is still establishing a 1,320 megawatt of coal-powered plant at Rampal, just 13 kilometers away from Sundarbans. So in this picture, you can see the crocodile wades into oil-tainted waters in the Sundarbans, right above of this slide, and the below was a local residents that which is who are collecting oils from the river. So in conclusion, we can say oil spill incident within a wildlife protected area like the Sundarbans is very alarming due to substantial risk of adverse impact of both the environment and dependent communities. Appropriate mitigating measures should be taken to prevent such incidents again. It would be better if the cargoes and marine vehicle use alternative route for transportation so that alternative river transportation routes could launch from Mongla port. Monitoring should be stronger to assess any long-term or critical effect on biodiversity of the Sundarbans and dependent communities. Training and awareness raising program on importance of Sundarbans, adverse impact of oil spillage on environment and dependent community could improve the situation by raising awareness among the community, officials of Department of Forest, vehicle owner, driver and labor. Sundarbans is one of the world's most beautiful heritage sites, so it's our duty to save Sundarbans. So thank you for watching my video presentation. I hope it provides a lot of information about Sundarbans, the water quality effects because of oil spillage, and so on. And thank you.